In this week's League Trends, the supports are taking over. Tarek, Jana, Thresh, Lulu, Evelyn, and Nidalee. I'm Lindsay Geektron of Cloth 5, and this is LolKing's League Trends. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. The increases in pick rate for this week were headed up by Tarek with an 8.29% change, followed by Lucian, Evelyn, Annie, and Gragas, rounding out the top 5. Gems are truly outrageous, becoming more popular on Summoner's Rift as Tarek's pick rate increases over the past week, due to the pre-season patch allowing supports to earn more money and the passive changes to Tarek's kit. This Gem Knight has become stronger than ever. After using an ability, Tarek's next basic attack deals bonus magic damage equal to 30% of Tarek's armor, and reduces his ability's cooldown by 2 seconds. This allows Tarek to stack armor and cooldown reduction, making him an immovable object in the late game. With these changes, he is also able to use his Dazzle multiple times throughout a team fight. Tarek works really well together with lane bullies like the popular marksman Lucian, and we might see a resurgence of some of the other carries like Misfortune and Twitch. Champions with the largest decrease in pick rate for the past week, aka the no friends list, were led up by Nidalee with a negative 3.85% change, followed by Sona, Jana, Vayne, and Nami. For $2.95 a minute, this girl will leave you breathless. But sadly, that's all she can do at this point, as support champions like Thresh, Fiddlesticks, and Annie are outshining Jana in the current patch. One of the biggest changes to Jana in the preseason patch was that her passive, Tailwind, has been changed from being a global passive to only players around her within an 800 radius. The rest of her kit remained the same except for the lowered AP scaling on her abilities, which has nerfed her solo lane role. In comparison, champions like Fiddlesticks and Annie remained completely unchanged, and now they are simply in a better position than Jana. Following are the champs with the largest increase in win rate. Once again, Tarek leads with a 2.49% increase, with Galio, Thresh, Corki, and Poppy finishing off the list. Like Fiddlesticks and Annie, Thresh remained unchanged in the preseason patch, which makes him stronger than most of the other supports at their current state. It's not surprising that Thresh's win rate is rising, as he's also being picked up more often. With all of the changes Riot has made to Thresh since his release, Thresh remains relevant in both solo queue and competitive play. Players always seem to find a way to utilize his abilities in the best way and make plays through the game. Going into Season 4, Thresh is, and will continue to be, one of the strongest supports on the Rift. Good news guys, you can still pretend to be Mad Life as you make Thresh plays in your future ranked games. The champs heading up the largest decrease in win rate for this past week are headed up by Jana with a negative 3.89% change, followed by Heimerdinger, Lulu, Nidalee, and Sion rounding out the top 5. Yep, it sure tastes like purple, as Lulu's win rate is steadily starting to drop. Towards the end of patch 3.13, we saw a lot of Lulu picks to combo with a Shyvana pick in the competitive scene. Shyvana dives into the enemy team with Lulu casting Wild Growth on her to knock up the enemy team, similar to the well-known Shyvana-Orianna wombo combo. The pre-season patch was not so kind to this Yordle, as she took a bit of a nerf with her fellow supports like Sona and Jana. We will still see Lulu in solo queue as well as some competitive play, but we won't be seeing her as a contested pick. Like solo lane Jana, solo lane Lulu was also nerfed due to her reduced AP ratios on her abilities. Champs with an increase in ban rate for this week, or nobody wants to play with me, are led up by Evelyn with a 35.09% change from last week, and trailing behind her by quite a large margin are Nasus, Annie, Shyvana, and Riven. Due to the changes to pink wards and the removal of oracles, Evelyn has become one of the biggest terrors in the jungle. Evelyn's one weakness in Season 3 was vision wards, and now with those wards being visible in the new patch, Evelyn can simply snuff out the vision to continue to gank a lane without any problems. This also makes Evelyn a very hard champion to control and keep track of if you're playing against her. With the new vision changes in the preseason patch, Evelyn received a considerably big buff. No surprise that her ban rate has increased by 35% in just a week. Riot please. Finally, we have the largest decrease in ban rate for the past week with Nidalee at 18.8%, followed by Fizz, Aatrox, Zed, and Ahri. The Cougar received a nerf to her spears as well as the duration on her traps in the preseason patch. This might be the reason behind the 18% decrease in ban rate, but it's more likely due to the fact that some of the other champions have become a bigger priority to ban than Nidalee. The change to her spear damage depends on where you throw your spear, not just where you are when the spear lands. What that means is that the trick where you throw the spear then change into a cougar form to pounce back and do more damage with your abilities won't work anymore. Now, this doesn't mean you can go and face tank spears all day. With just a few items, they will still do stupid amounts of damage. So good luck dodging spears on the Rift. And that's it for this week's show. Please be sure to subscribe to LolKing on YouTube to keep up on these league trends, and be sure to subscribe to Cloth 5 on YouTube for more great analysis. And if you haven't checked out LOL Nation TV's show Waypoint, be sure to do so. Every week, Mike Schaffnit recaps the latest happenings in League of Legends, so go tell him I say hello. I'm Lindsay Geektron. Thanks for watching.